welcome to the channel Chosen Warrior. I'm your host, Richard Pabiem. Today, finally, I'm going to be talking about my spiritual warfare that I went through with an occultic group. And this spiritual warfare went on for about 7 years. This was one of the worst experiences I had so far. So I'm going to be giving you a brief summary. Actually, these videos, because of the length of the videos, I'm going to be cutting it up, so actually this is just going to be an introduction, just to let you know what I went through and what happened. Yes, this was one of the worst experiences I had so far, but God gave me victory. So all glory to be to God. I came out 100%. I'm here today as a conqueror, a spiritual warrior. And, I'm here to also testify, how God lifted me out of the pit of the beast, how God delivered me out of, the hands of the wicked. So, stay tuned, y'all. So this battle, this spiritual warfare actually started, about 2017. I went into a spiritual battle. Unknowingly to me, I was surrounded by a group of occultic men, I was surrounded by an occultic coven. And at that time, I was really ignorant, according to the word of God, it say, ignorant of the devices of the enemy. So at that time, I was really, really ignorant. But I was someone that was very spiritually sensitive. I had my intuition up. I said my prayers, but I was ignorant about, I didn't really know, all the details when it came to spiritual warfare. So I got myself surrounded by these men, and, they got their hands into every part of my life. They got their hands into my business. They got their hands into my marriage, into my relationships. They got my hands into my mental health. They got their hands into everything that I was working on, literally, my home, my friends, But, one of the first signs, that you're going into spiritual warfare starts from the dreams, I used to have all of these. First of all, before I had all these nightmares, it came to a point whereby I think early 2018, late 2017, I got bedridden for over 5 months. I was bedridden. I knew something was going on, but I didn't know where to, how to figure it out. What's going on? There's something that is going off, So the only people I had around me, when I talk to them, they're gonna be like, oh, you just need to drink more water, you just need to chill out, you're feeling, you're stressed. But no, that was far from the case. The actual thing was that this group of men that I had just met were actually very, very deep occultists. And so they started the process of harvesting my energy. So most times after I got bedridden, I always had this feeling of, I started feeling heavy. First and foremost, I'll go back to the dreams. You start having these weird dreams, that, you're being chasing. You have a weird dream that, you're putting on dirty clothes, you're wearing rags. And then you start having weird dreams that, a group of people are chasing you, people are attacking you. You're always getting beat up in the dream, Most times you get, you have a dream and then you're getting beat up. People are beating you up, people are chasing you, people are talking down on you. And then you always have this sense of fear, even in the dream life. So those was one of the earliest signs, And then I'm a very clean person, I'm very, very clean. Like, I'm so clean. Like, I used to be a clean freak. Back in it, even up to now, you could ask everybody around me. I don't like dirt anywhere around me. So one of the signs was that I had a dream one time, and that dream I was putting on rags, very dirty clothes, and I was like, what like, I was so confused, like, how do I wear this kind of clothes? Because I'm a very clean person. But as I said, I was ignorant of the devices of the enemy. So that was one of the heaviest giveaway. So unknown to me, I was going through an energy harvest. Somehow, through exchange of gifts, through giving me gifts, you know, this man had managed to hook onto my energy field, and they were siphoning and harvesting my energy every day of my life. And these things was not just me, it was affecting everybody in my home, my house, my kids, children, my whole family. It was affecting everybody, you know. Things were not just normal, you know. Nobody was thinking normal. Relationships were going, you know, I was working with a foreign company, and all of a sudden, you know, we had problems from out of the thin air, you know, problems, and they were just like, oh, please, we can't work with you anymore for, you know, for this season, you know, maybe later, but for now we're gonna lay you off. Apart from that, you know, jobs that kept on coming in, everything started drying off. My job started drying up, you know. I had a whole lot of jobs coming in as a web designer. I used to get like roughly every week, I used to get like about close to like $1,000, $2,000. But after a while, everything started drying up, you know. I couldn't even get up to $50 in a week as a graphic designer, as a creative director. So I knew something was wrong, you know. I knew something was wrong. And I had this issue of anger, you know. Always get very stressed and really hot-tempered, and you know, you get so angry and you're like, what's going on? And you enter this kind of rage and you feel like, what's going on, but couldn't really figure it out. So luckily, or you know, according to God's, you know, God's favor on my life, you know, prayers, fasting, the more I was praying, the more I was fasting, the situation seemed to be getting worse. The more I was praying, more I was fasting, the situation seemed to be getting worse. It reached a point whereby for about 1 year, 3 months, I couldn't, anytime the time is getting like 6, 7 in the evening, I couldn't stay in my house. I had this phobia for dark. You know, I didn't used to sleep at night. I stay awake till the next morning, because anytime it's nighttime, I was like, oh my goodness, what's gonna happen? I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what's gonna happen again, like tonight. Because every night it was a warfare. The more I was praying, every night it was a warfare. You know, shadows were running all around me. You know, I see beings running all around me. I'm also going to talk about the time that I had an encounter with Baphomet. It's a being, you know, Nephilim, fallen angel, call it what you want to call it, but it's a being with a goat head. You know, half human, half goat head, with the legs like a horse, legs like a kangaroo or a horse, you know, but with a goat head. And this being walked into my home and it looked at me. Its mouth wasn't opening, but it was talking. It was looking at me, you know, communicating with me. I'll get into the details in another video, but for now I just want to, you know, make a quick summary of 7 years and everything I went through during this spiritual war for the 7 years before God finally came through and God gave me my victory. And you know, I had victory and everything stopped, and you know, God lifted me out of that darkness, you know, and I began to see the light, and things started getting better. Things started clearing out for me, you know. Life started becoming something that you wake up in the morning and you feel good, you know, you want to live life, you know. Depression, anxiety, everything, God cleared it out of the way, you know. The nightmares stopped, you know, spiritual oppression stopped. The dark shadows that I always used to see moving out the corner of my eyes every night stopped. Phobia for the nighttime stopped. I could sleep at night peacefully, at peace. You know, everything came back to normal at the end of these 7 years. And It wasn't an easy experience. I wouldn't even wish this experience for my worst enemy, but it was worth it because honestly, I learned a lot from this experience. It made me into a different person. It gave me purpose, it gave me strength, it gave me like, also it gave me like, it brought up my spiritual gifts. It gave me obedience to the word of God because it brought me closer to God. Got me closer to Jesus, It made me more aware of my environment, made me more aware of the world we live in. It brought me close to my purpose, what I was here to do, what God sent me here on this earth to achieve, So it was, in a way, it's like a blessing in disguise. It's a blessing in disguise. But you just have to be patient, have to endure the trials, the temptations, knowing that finally God has already given you that victory and you're going to pull through. That's what I did. It wasn't easy. So many nights laying in my room, looking at the ceiling, not knowing what is going to happen. So many nights. There was a night that I got choked by a python, wrapped his tail around my neck and was squeezing out my breath, and I was choking, gasping for air. So many nights I couldn't breathe. And as I'm getting choked, I'm hearing the sound of someone crawling over my roof, like my ceiling. Somebody's crawling. I run out of my house and I stay from far. Sometimes I sit outside in front of my house for outside my gate, because I can't go inside. Like 2 a.m. I run out of my house because I'm getting choked. Snakes, pythons, the house is full of snakes. And this is like, I don't know how to explain it, y'all, but ladies and gentlemen, this is real. Spiritual warfare is no joke. So I'm here to encourage you through my story. You follow this series. This is going to be the intro. I'm going to be bringing out the next video. This is going to be the part 1. And gradually, subsequently, I'm going to be releasing series, of different videos on this topic. So you just stay tuned, follow my storyline. And at the end, I know that, it's going to inspire you. And for all of y'all that are going through, presently you're going through what I went through, I hope, my story encourages you to, to fight that battle, knowing that God is going to come through and God is going to give you that ultimate victory at the end of the day. Don't give up, keep fighting, keep striving. It might be hard sometimes, but God never disappoints. He came through for me. I know he's going to come through for you. So stay tuned, y'all. Peace, love, blessings,